Amen.
They froze halfway through it.
Hi, I'm Brendan Hahn, and today I'm going to be talking about deer archery hunting and bow hunting throughout the year, and different tactics, strategies, calls, tools you can use in the field to aid to your benefit. It's that time of year again. Leaves are changing, color, temperatures are dropping, and it's time to get out in the woods. First thing I'm going to talk about today is tracking and scouting. Tracking and scouting, it's overlooked, but it's a very important part of hunting, trying to figure out which way deer travel and where they will be during the season. Tracking and scouting, usually I start out by glassing the area midday or early in the morning to see where deer are at and where they are going to and coming from. What are they using to travel from point A to point B throughout the year. After I get a good look, glass for a day or two, I then go on and proceed into the timber, start walking trails and figuring out where they intersect at, where they're going, where they're going and intersecting to, whether they are staying on the property or they are jumping to another piece. After I get a good idea of where trails intersect, it's a good idea to place a game camera where those trails are intersecting. There's a lot of traffic through those areas where they're going to meet and where they're going to go off to, whether they're going to go to a bedding area, where they're going to feed. With setting trail cameras, there's many different options you can use. You can use, there's infrared cameras, there's motion sensing, and there's video settings on those. Infrared's great that's a great tool. It only takes pictures when they're heat detected, when it's walking in front of the camera. It saves battery life throughout the year. You're not going to have hundreds of pictures of stuff that doesn't matter. You're not going to have pictures of weeds blowing in the wind. That's mainly what I use. Motion sensing, it's great if you have a very, very high activity area, but a little bit of a breeze, you have a branch or you have a piece of grass blowing in front of your camera, it's going to take pictures. I've had it, and I've had thousands of pictures of nothing. Videoing, it's a great tool, but the bad thing about it is it eats up a lot of battery life on the camera. It's a good tool for the simple example of a deer walking in, spending time in front of that camera. Where is he going after that? Yeah, you have the pictures of him walking by, but did he circle around? Did he go back? Did he keep going? And it's always a question in the back of your mind. After I set a game camera out, I then take it upon myself to go out and see if I can find a tree that is tall and straight and set a deer stand in it. After I set my deer stand, by this time it's early, way before season. It's a good time to go out, cut shooting lanes, make sure you're comfortable in the stand when you draw back your bow, make sure you're not hitting a tree or a branch, and you have a clear line of sight in every direction. And a good idea when cutting shooting lanes is take a rangefinder with you and range finding trees or different landmarks in the timber. Then at that point you can get an idea of what your yardage is and how far out you are shooting. After all this is done, it's July, August. I go out, I put mineral out, corn out, I give those deer a reason to come back to that same spot and have them walk through, and so I can get a good look at everything and what I'm dealing with when the season comes about. After all this is done, it's season, I take my bow, I go out. But that brings me to my next topic. When you are sitting in the stand and you're sitting there and you have deer going around, or even if it's quiet and there's nothing out, you want to paint an illusion to the deer that there is something there in front of you that they can't see but they can hear. And that takes me to calls. This is a buck grunt. Buck grunt, this is a very deep grunt that I use mainly for the simple fact for mature deer. A younger buck, he's going to have more of a high-pitched voice, kind of like a 12 or 13-year-old kid compared to a 40-year-old guy. And with a buck grunt, you can do so many different things. You can do contact grunts, agnostic grunts, and with the agnostic grunts, what it is it's a long, deep grunt. To other deer, it makes them think that he's there with a doe and that he is taking that area over and that they need to get out. The good thing about this call is is if there is another mature buck in the area, there is that possibility he will come and try to see what's going on and think that he can dominate that buck because his testosterone is through the roof. Just kind of like a teenage boy at a party. An agnostic grunt, it kind of sounds deep, long, drawn out, such as it's a longer grunt. You can do this process 2 to 3 times when in the timber. You don't want to overuse it because then that deer knows that, you know, it's not right. It's not normal that deer do that. Contact grunts, short, repetitive. Usually that happens if a buck is on a doe and that he is following her or chasing her during the rut. Short contact grunts are just another thing. Along with that, I use a doe bleat. It's very simple, and this is just to paint the illusion that there is a doe in the area, and it's just a short little bleat thinking that she is there in estrus. I have a video showing all of this.